and this is my first live on my channel, so it's going to be quite a thing for me. I've done Facebook lives before easily, but never on YouTube, so let's see what happens. But I've just been painting my palm pebbles, so I have lots of them here. I make them out of air dry clay and I paint them. And so I love painting, as you can see, with all the blues and the greens. They're colours that just really inspire me. But the reds and the yellows have been a really hard journey. And it was while I was painting with them that I realised that I had to look at the colours in a different way and work with them differently. So I've been building up texture to find more contrast, to find more interest for me, to to really inspire me more. But it was while I was painting, I realised that yes, that colours are like ourselves, that not everybody works in the same way, and we have to treat everybody differently. But then I was also thinking about creativity, that being creative is a journey. And so many people start out by saying, oh, I'm not creative, I'm not an artist, I would love to paint, but I can't paint for the life of me. I'm useless at drawing. And all these beliefs come up, which kind of really started, at school. When a child begins to paint, when you give a child a paintbrush, they will paint without question. They don't say, I can't paint, I'm useless. They will just start painting. But when we get to school and we start being given art projects, that we have to do this and we have to do that, we're given no time just to really experiment, and especially in like a secondary school or whatever, we never have an art class where we can just, here's your stuff, just go away and just have fun with it. No, they put us in a box, we have to do something, it's marked, we start comparing, and then all these judgments come up. And so then people then have this belief that being creative, you have to be an artist, you have to be trained, you have to have a high standard. And it's not about that. Creativity is really a journey within. It's investigating and seeing and taking risks, taking chances, having fun, letting go, all this type of thing. And it's time to give yourself permission really to start becoming creative. It's our birthright. I was talking to a friend yesterday and we got talking about, women later in life going through menopause. In fact, that sacral energy changes. Our sacral energy in our younger years is about creating a family, creating a life, creating, a baby. And then after the menopause, that sacral energy is still there, but it changes. It's then about becoming creative and finding our true essence through the paint. And so for all the women out there who are of older years going through the menopause, creativity is ideal because it's channeling that sacral energy into discovering the true you. Which brings me on to the thought as well that, when we're in our 20s, we're very much on our ego. It's about ourselves and our career. 30s is about creating the family. 40s is about, oh, who am I? Finding out who we are, which is why we say life begins at 40. And then 50, it's giving that back to the world. And so menopause is really about, changing that shift, changing that energy, and giving that creativity back to the world. It's no longer about giving it to children, it's about giving it and expressing ourselves through that. And so being creative is taking chances. When you first come to the table to create, it's not in that mindset of what am I going to paint? Am I going to paint a house? Am I going to paint a flower? It isn't about that. It's about allowing that expression, that free expression to flow. And so you're starting out and seeing where it takes you, experimenting. It's like when I'm doing these pebbles, I have no idea how they're going to look like at the start. So I allow that pebble to tell me, and just follow, and the paint to be inspired by what's coming out from the paintbrush, and just seeing what happens. And that's what creativity is. And it's just like in life that we take chances and seeing what happens, and what if I do this, and what if I choose that way, and what would happen. And that the more we experiment with that on paper, the more that then flows into our everyday life. And so we become creative in other ways, in making decisions, in projects, in being with our family. And creativity is part of us. It's not something extra, not something that you learn at school. It's that our natural way of being. And so many people don't give themselves permission to be creative because they don't feel good enough. And there's no being good enough for being creative. It's just being yourself. It's learning to express yourself in a medium that you like. I love colour, and they're very kinesthetic. So, working with clay really works with me. But it may not work for you. It may be another medium for you. And so when you first start on your journey, just, take a paintbrush, use your kiddies' paintbrushes and paints. Put one stroke, do another stroke, and just see where it takes you. Let go of all prior thoughts of where it may take you, or what it will be at the end, or what you intend it to be. Let go of all expectation, and allow that journey to come through you, allow itself to express through you. And you begin to see that there's really there's no error, there's no right or wrong way, it's just your way. And if you find that it's bringing up the perfectionist in you, that you want to get it right, let go. It's a journey, and we're not all, nobody's going to get it right the first time. Nobody. There's always going to be mistakes, and it's allowing those. And it's kind of what I love about working with clay and polymer clay and everything, because you can start and start again. You can just screw it up and start again. And with paint, don't go and buy canvases. Goodness sake, please don't start on the canvas for your first ones. That just puts your brain into, it's got to be perfect. It's going to be hung on a wall. It's going to be shown. Paint on cardboard. All those wall planners, those hard wall planners, or some thick paper. But don't go working on the canvas until you're happy, and you're happy in your creativity, because it really will set you into the wrong mindset. And give yourself permission to experiment, not to get it right. And we can always go over it, that there's, goodness, even when we look at the great artists like Da Vinci and whatever, how they've found that there's other paintings underneath. Now, what if those paintings underneath were wrong paintings, that they didn't like them and they painted over the top of them? And that's what it's about, really. It's just about experimenting. It's daring to let go, and be aware that of your own voices when you do this. When you start to paint, start to become aware of those little inner voices, what they're saying to you, because that's where your beliefs are. if you're hearing, oh, it's crap, it's useless, or people hate this, and they're all beliefs. And this is why I use essential oils in my art as well when I paint, because it helps to release those, it helps to work with them. So you can then actually use art as a true healing tool to work through those beliefs. It's healing art. Art is healing. And I'd love to know, please write in the comments what your creative journey was. How did you get to where you are now? And what medium do you like working with? What's your favourite colour? I would love to hear about what you love or what you don't like, When I first started out, my artwork was very rigid. I've actually got the first one I ever did. This is one of my first pieces that I did. Single layers, everything in lines, obviously still with this turquoise colour. But it's nothing like I am now, but it took me on a journey to a much freer style of enjoying the moment, enjoying the painting and just freeing up. And it's kind of, freeing the mind. And it's the one thing I love about painting and layers as well, because each layer covers the other and it gives texture, just like in life. We build up our layers, we build up our texture of life, and we become the person we were meant to be. And it's a journey. It's never, straight on go. Yes, there are artists like that, but they're true artists and they've been going at it for years, and even they started out in a different place to where they are now. And it's not about becoming an artist. People sing in the shower, but they don't expect to be a professional singer. People dance at parties, but they don't expect to be a professional dancer. But give people a paintbrush and it's all hell let loose. I can't paint, I'm not an artist, I was useless at school. And this is why I think painting is such a powerful medium for healing, because it does bring up those beliefs. But yes, the yellow and reds, golds, they just do not inspire me. I can't get it. It's been quite a thing for me this morning of really trying to get to grips with yellows and reds, and it's just not the same. And it's very funny that it's all the lower chakras. And incidentally, next week in my Facebook group, you can come over and see, and it's called the Art of Emotion. And we have a chakra course, a free chakra course, starting in the group on Easter Monday, of New Beginnings. And there'll be creativity in there. I'll be painting through the chakras, and we learn about the chakras through the essential oils, through emotions. And it's a really beautiful journey. But I don't get things right first time. You see people on YouTube doing things and it works perfectly. Well, I'm not like that. Things can go wrong. I'm not perfect, and I don't intend to be perfect. My art is very much like us, that, we're not perfect. Oops. And for me, I think creativity is going to be stronger and stronger in the future. I think people will realise that we really need it. It's an integral part of life. In whatever way that, that works for you. There's so many ways to be creative, whether it's scrapbooking or art journaling or clay or, whatever it is find your thing. And don't copy what other people are doing. And it's one thing, a lot of people do these paint and sip events. And I personally don't like them. I really don't. Because they set you up into that school mentality of comparing with your neighbour. And I think it's much nicer to investigate your own creativity rather than comparing to somebody else. So I would just say, give yourself permission to create. Give yourself permission to have fun. To do the what if, play the what if game. What if I tried this? What if I painted that? What would happen if I mix these two colours? Nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to give you a black mark. It's not an exam, it's not a test. And if you've got children at home, go and grab their paint. Paint with them. Watch how children approach the paper. So there we go for my little musings of today. I do hope you have a beautiful Easter. And I look forward to doing more lives here soon. Have a beautiful day. Saying that, I can't even stop my video now. But there we go. That's my workings. Be careful of what's a teacup and what is a paintbrush cup. And see you soon.